Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, and Ohio University Lancaster.
Good afternoon. I am Temple Custer Montanez. I am with the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and welcome. I am at 150 West Main Street today, and you can kind of hear it's a little crazy down here, a little busy, but I am so lucky to have my good friend Barb with me today, and Barb is in charge of the student art camps at Art and Clay. Yeah,
that's right. We've got art camp going on. Today was the big kickoff of our first art camp. We have 3 art camps, and this week we're studying the elements of art, building blocks of art.
That's fantastic.
We've got a nice group of kids taking their snack right now, and we're going to go back at it here in a few minutes.
So if you thought it was noisy now, it's about to get a little bit noisier when the students finish their snacks. So Art and Clay on Main, as many people may or may not know, is a social purpose enterprise owned by Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And part of our mission statement is to bring about a vibrant community where people lead fulfilling lives and make meaningful contributions. So what you don't ever hear in our mission statement is the word disability, because we're all about abilities down here. And how the art camps work into our mission statement is that we are helping to bring about a vibrant community. Obviously, at 150 West Main Street, we employ individuals and adults with disabilities. We have internship programs for adults with disabilities. But a whole nother component is contributing back to the community. And one way that we do that down here is really sort of centered ourselves as the nucleus or the hub of the arts wheel in Fairfield County. And so part of what we do in the summer is a little bit more of an outreach program. With the art camps. This summer there are 3 art camps, and those are offered to children. What ages, Barb?
We're focusing on ages 8 to 14. Okay. So, and helping each student, each artist, I like to call them artists instead of students because I want them to just really identify with that, with their creativity, finding their creativity and blossoming.
Well, there's been a lot of blossoming going on this morning, I can tell you that. So the elements of art, I'm looking here, is the building blocks of art. So tell me a little bit, Barb, about what that means. What are the building blocks of art, and what are you really teaching the students/artists this week about the elements?
Okay, we're talking about color, shape, design, line, and texture, and we started the morning out by holding a leaf and then talking about those elements and finding them within a leaf and how we can learn so much from nature, and the elements of art are in nature. So at the end of this week, they are going to have a block, which is the symbol and the visual of the building block of art, and it is a box that they'll be able to keep their art supplies in. They're going to write a note to themselves in the lid of this box. And I vision these kids when they're getting ready to go off to college, and mom says, clean up that closet. They're going to see this wonderful note in the lid of this box that they wrote to themselves this week at art camp. And then we tie in art history with every single element. We're going to study a famous artist, a living artist with each element, and then incorporate that into the lesson. And it's just a fun way to learn, to remember, to identify with art. And my goal is at the end of the week, every single artist this week will have learned a new way to see, and they will see the elements of art in everything that they look at, teaching them to see as artists and building on that knowledge.
Oh, that's fantastic. So the box. Well, so will each side of the box represent a different element
yes,
of art?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Today we are decoupaging the box, and everybody's very sticky. My hands are kind of stuck together.
I can see you've got a little bit of a little decoupage, Mod Podge on you.
Yes, I'm pretty stuck here. And then we're going to work on texture, and there's a whole technique to do that, and we're going to focus on Ghiberti, who took 20 years to do the doors of the Baptistery in Florence, Italy, and that's how that ties in. But each side of the box and the lid is all going to have an element of art in it. And we're going to study, when we study color, we're going to study op art and the color, and Julian Sanzek, who is still living, he's 97 years old and he's in Cleveland, and his story as the godfather of op art is fascinating because he lost the use of his right hand in a Siberian concentration camp, and he just had that artist passion and that artist vision, and he had to learn to create, and he did it with his left hand. And he did op art because he did not want to put on paper anything he had seen. He wanted the autonomy of op art, which I think is fascinating.
Oh yeah, it's very fascinating. And I think also what's fascinating to me is that these kids are getting that element of art history, and not even history, I mean, art backstories, if you will, because as you said, many of the artists are still living. And that's not something that you always get. I mean, I'm so thrilled that in Fairfield County, so many of the elementary schools now have incorporated art programs into their curriculum. But I also know it's limited in the amount of time that the kids get to spend with their art teachers. So by coming here for an entire week and really being able to focus for a couple hours every day on not only what they're doing, but why they're doing it, what it means, and who's done it before them, and which artists are still currently doing that is fantastic. Now, if you didn't get in, obviously, probably didn't, because unless your child's down here with us right now, on this first art camp, the good news is there are 2 more art camps coming up this summer. The next one is community and cultural arts. Again, that really speaks to the Fairfield DD mission statement of reaching out and creating a vibrant community. That camp will take place July 19th to the 22nd, right? 19th to the 22nd. So community and cultural arts, what are we talking about, Barb? What is that going to entail? Because it looks like that's butting right up against Lancaster Festival time.
Right. So we're going to be a big part of that, which is really exciting for the artists because they are going to learn about working in a collaborative, which is the cooperation of working with other artists. And they're going to learn the respect issues as an artist that goes with that, respecting everybody's ideas, respecting everybody's vision, and that there is no right and no wrong. The only thing that would be wrong would be negative towards another artist. So we're going to work in a collaborative. They will also have some of their own pieces that they'll be bringing home, but we're going to study collaboratives and installations globally from around the world. And I'm really, really excited about that camp because there's just so many unbelievably fascinating things that are happening all over the world in different cultures, and how that ties in with the very essence of who people are, because art is really what taps into your passion. Without art, what are you passionate about? What else touches your heart and your soul?
Well, and I think what's interesting about that, too, is that in Fairfield County, and specifically in historic downtown Lancaster, we have a lot of great examples of collaborative art. And so, I know we talk about that a lot and have taken some of our children, my personal children, around to see some of those collaborative projects. But in addition to that, there will be a collaborative art project happening inside 150 West Main Street, along with what was formerly known as the Blue Shoe Artists. And we're going to get to that later. That's a whole new different ballpark. But so they're going to be embarking on a project where they are spreading art throughout the building and also throughout downtown. Now, will you be part of that as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we're going to invite the students then to come back with their families during the art walk and to participate in that. And you will be able to, the students will actually have an experience of having their first installation, their first public viewing of their artwork. So bringing their families, and it's just so exciting. I mean, how proud is that? You see all these people looking at your art, and it's just going to be so exciting for the kids to be a part of a community project. It's really going to be neat.
Well, and I think to foster that pride in your work is really important. I know several of the art teachers in the Lancaster City Schools have had art openings and art exhibit nights, and it's so nice to see not only that the children get an opportunity to present their art, but that the family gets an opportunity to stand back as proud family members and look at that art objectively, and then also as a proud parent. So that's exciting. So again, that's the Community and Cultural Arts Camp, and it will be focusing on collaborative art and also some art that will be available for viewing during the Lancaster Festival. And some of that's a little still under wraps, a little top secret as far as what the collaborative art project is going to be throughout Fairfield County during the art festival. But I really encourage you to check this out. July 19th through the 22nd from 9:30 to noon. The cost is $95 a student. That does include all of your instruction, all of your supplies, a snack, and the best part, moms and dads out there, you don't have to clean up a thing. No. You clean it all up for them, right?
Right. I've got
with your sticky fingers, right? That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And then we have one more art camp that you're squeezing in before school gets back in session, and that is the Multimedia Art Camp. That takes place August 2nd through the 5th from 9:30 to noon. Again, $95 per student. Includes everything, instruction, materials, snack, the whole work. And the genius of Barb here. Tell me a little bit about what the multimedia camp will be, Barb.
Okay, that is going to be an introduction to several medias for the kids. So examples of that would be fused glass. The students are going to learn how to work with that. Wet clay, there'll be a little small introduction to being on the wheel. And it's really important to me that none of the students walk away frustrated. I want them to feel successful. I don't ever want anyone to feel like a failure. So there will be an introduction to the wheel, but we'll be focusing on hand building with the wet clay so that they will have a project that they feel good about. There'll be watercolor, paper making, book making. So it's a nice overview of some really unique things that, with all respect to any art projects that are going on in the school systems, maybe some of the things that can't be done. So we do have the fused glass and the wet clay here, and I think that's going to be a big part of that focus.
Well, that's exciting. And there are still a few spaces left in that camp as well. Again, if you're interested in any of the art camps at 150 West Main Street, we do recommend that you call quickly because they are filling up. And obviously we have one already underway. But you can reach them downtown at 653-1755 or check them out on their Facebook and social media pages at Art and Clay on Main. So Barb, real quickly, what is the one thing that you feel that you get out of instructing at art camp during the summer?
Oh, I have to be really careful to not cry in front of the kids. I am so touched by the enthusiasm and the passion that I see, and it fuels me as an artist to see that through somebody's eyes who is an emerging artist. And it just revives me. Every single child, no matter what it is that they are finding out about themselves. I mean, right now I've got goosebumps literally from my ankles all the way up to the top of my head. It is so exciting. So it just fuels me. These kids are like vitamins or something. It's awesome.
Well, they're a very talented group, and we're going to get a chance to peek around a little bit of the things that they're doing when we come back. And we also will be talking with the general manager of Art and Clay, Mitzi Neiswanger. And I will let you get back to these budding artists, and thank you for everything that you're doing, Barb. And I hope you're not stuck to the table, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
And welcome back to Fairfield Today. I am your host today, Temple Custer Montanez from the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And I'm in one of my favorite places to be, 150 West Main Street, with Mitzi Neiswanger, who's the general manager. And it's a little chaotic down here today, Mitzi. I kind of thought we were going to have the place to ourselves, but I guess...
Unfortunately, we don't.
Yeah, it's always a good thing when we don't. We are, as we were talking earlier, in the middle of an art camp down here this week, but we have 2 more art camps coming up. We just talked to your very talented instructor, Barb, and very exciting curriculum coming up for all the students. But I want to talk to you a little bit, Mitzi, about why you do these art camps to begin with. I mean, why this time investment and this curriculum, all the time that you invest in creating this curriculum and so on and so forth. Why is that important to what's going on at 150 West Main?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons, but first and foremost, I would have to say that part of our mission with the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities and something that we do pursue every day here is bringing about a vibrant community. So we like to add vibrancy by bringing in the community and reaching out and involving them in a lot of the art programs that we do, and constantly trying to find different ways to engage kids and adults as well, give them reason to come in and be a part of the projects that we do. For instance, we have a community installation, a collaborative installation that we're doing this summer that will kick off with Art Walk, and it is yarn bombing.
Yarn bombing. I've heard about yarn bombing. That's pretty cool. Why don't you explain what that is?
So if you Google it, you will come and go to images. You will see all sorts of trees wrapped with yarn, lampposts, park benches, pianos.
So it's like politically correct toilet papering.
It's absolutely graffitiing a certain area of town, and we're going to be doing that with our volunteers, with our Blue Shoe artists, what are currently called Blue Shoe artists, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Our employees, our volunteers, and just people from the community, our after-school artists and our summer camp artists, they're all working together to do this collaborative installation in downtown Lancaster. So we're going to bomb them full of color, and we currently are knitting and wrapping, and the end result will be vivid color and patterns up and down Main Street this summer. So we're very excited about that.
That's very cool. And again, I like how you've tied that in with bringing about a vibrant community and involving all the artists at all different levels. And is that something that's open to the public as well, if people aren't currently an after-school art student?
Absolutely, yes. And as a matter of fact, waiting for me when I'm finished talking here is a fellow who's partially retired. He lives here in Lancaster. He's taking some art classes out at OUL. And we had extended an opportunity to art students at OUL and asked them, in exchange for art studio experience, we asked them to give us some of their time. And we have various things that we have in store for them that we'd like them to help us with. But there's a fellow here who right now who came in today to see what all the opportunities are for volunteering. And
he's still here, by the way. You haven't scared him away.
Waiting on me. I can't believe he didn't.
Because there's a lot.
He's going to slip out the door. He's still here. But yeah, he's going to help us with yarn bombing, one of many things. And so anybody that wants to donate yarn, anybody who wants to donate time knitting the yarn, anybody who wants to come and wrap, a lamppost, please contact us at...
That's got to be on somebody's bucket list. I need to...
Who wouldn't want to graffiti a downtown and do it legally?
And they can reach you down here at 653-1755 or on your social media?
Yes, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, and we are on Facebook. We also have a webpage. And there are links to contact us. You can direct message us on Facebook. That's how a lot of folks get a hold of us. You can call us. And we'd love to hear from you.
Excellent. So you've got an art camp 3 different times this whole summer. What kind of feedback do you get from students and parents about having these camps? And because I know this is like the 4th or 5th year you've been doing them, there must be a reason that they keep coming back.
One word, fun. We make sure that the kids are engaged, and we make sure that they go away with some knowledge they did not have prior to coming here. So we want to give them real-world connections with art history, showing them some genres and artists, but they also just got out of school, so we don't want to take the instruction so far that we're losing them. So we make it fun, we make it interactive, and we find that the kids are extremely engaged and the parents are impressed with what they're bringing home, both verbally and tangible items that they've made. And these are very popular camps, and we have one in June, one in July, one in August. And they were in our 5th or 6th year with them, and they're a lot of fun. So I'm looking at right now about 15 campers. This is day 1 of our June camp, the Elements of Art, and we have some very, very talented artists on staff who are doing instruction with after-school art and with the summer camps. And we actually have one volunteer who's a young gal in college who just wanted some volunteer experience in an art studio, and she's here the whole week, who's helping us with these kids and doing some one-on-one instruction and aid. And we also offer a lot in the way of differentiation. If somebody comes in with a little higher skill set than is typical for an age group, then we're going to differentiate that project so that we can challenge them a little bit further and bring out everything that we can in them.
Okay. So a lot of people think of 150 West Main Street and Art and Clay as the home of Blue Shoe Art Studio. And while we will still be having an art studio here, we've grown a little bit, which is really exciting. And so basically, in layman's terms, and you can correct me if I get any of this wrong, and by the way, people will be hearing about this a little bit more, but we've taken that accessible art studio that was for adults with disabilities and opened it up. And now it's simply an art studio. So there are a lot of programs and classes going on now at 150 West Main Street that the general public can partake in, and we encourage them to do so. And they may be creating art right along with adults with disabilities. Do I have that fairly close?
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, the reauthorization of the Americans with Disabilities Act stipulates that by July of 2017, any county board of DD needs to be compliant in integrating individuals with disabilities with individuals in the community without disabilities. So it's providing further opportunities and promoting independence. And so we are quite compliant already here at 150 West Main. And the one thing that needed to be tweaked to comply with these new regulations is the Blue Shoe Arts program. So it's going to be tweaked a little bit. It's going to be an accessible art studio. It's going to be an artist in residence program, as you said, and but it is going to be open to the general public.
And I have to tell you, and we'll be doing some programming on this later on, but it's a really, really unique opportunity to explore your own talents and your own affinity for whatever medium of art it is that you're drawn to. And at the same time, be creating alongside people that have the same passion as you, with or without a disability. You know,
it's going to be a very dignified artist in residency program. And when I lived on the East Coast, there was an accessible art studio called the Torpedo Factory in Alexandria, Virginia, in Old Town. And what it is it's artists of all different mediums, all different genres, and they are all creating within one space and promoting their art through the Torpedo Factory, and also selling it. They have retail in the front of their studio, and we're going to do something like that. There's just not going to be individual spaces. So but they're going to all be creating here. It's going to be an art studio of all mediums. There's going to be supplies available. People will also bring their own supplies. We're still taking donations of all sorts of art materials, and then there will be promoted art exhibits. We will be selling the works.
and you have some really talented artists here on staff, from Pam Whiteley on down. So will those individuals be on hand?
Absolutely, yes. And we also have some volunteers from the community that are now going to be artists in residence. Because they took advantage of the fact that, oh my gosh, right here in downtown Lancaster, we're going to have this artist in residency program, which is a wonderful opportunity for a starving artist. So what they have to do to get into this program is to submit a portfolio. They have to submit an artist statement of what they want to pursue and what the time frame is that they want to pursue it, and also an artist statement. Or an artist's biography about who they are and what they've done in the past. It's kind of a resume. And then there's going to be a review board, and we will go over all of these items that the artist presents, and it's sort of like cheerleading tryouts.
Oh no, we went through those together back in the day.
So there will be a panel that is selecting the artists that will be in this residency program based on what they are submitting to us.
Fantastic. So many opportunities to learn and to create, and for you to help everyone at 150 West Main Street to bring about a vibrant community, to participate in these accessible art studios, to have your children in art camp. There's really absolutely no excuse to not take advantage of everything that's going on down here at Art and Clay.
You can hear there's lots going on currently. Very, very noisy here. And there goes my volunteer, Steve. Don't leave us.
And with that, we are going to be able to take a peek at some of the artwork that the kids are doing, that the campers are doing. Mitzi, thank you so much, as always, for spending time with us. I am your host, Temple Custer Montanez from Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities. Give us a call about anything we've mentioned today on the air, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, and Ohio University Lancaster.